Banteay Kdei is the final and smallest of the three temples. We don't know exactly when it was completed, however. Unlike the other two, there was no stele found at the site. It's probably safe to say, though, that this temple was dedicated to the Buddha himself, thus completing the divine trinity of Jayavarman VII's unique brand of Buddhism. As the two bodhisattvas had been identified with the king's parents at the other temples, many scholars believe that the Buddha enshrined here probably would have been identified with Jayavarman VII himself. Judging from the language used in the prior inscriptions, he was far from being a modest king. Structurally, Banteay Kdei is a lot like the other two, but on a slightly smaller scale. Visitors walk along a causeway before encountering a hall of dancers, which then leads to a similar layout to what we've seen previously. Some of the outer satellite structures are lacking, however, due to the temple's relative obscurity. Compared to Taprom and Preah Khan, Banteay Kdei receives hardly any visitors. The lack of tour groups many visitors discover is reason enough to spend at least a half an hour here. But, as we'll go over below, this temple, for a very long time, also harbored another secret that was only discovered at the end of the 20th century. Like the other two triad temples, Banteay Kdei was originally a monastic complex. What's more surprising is that, despite the temple's dilapidated state, monks even continued to reside here up until the 1960s. Walking through the temple complex, it can be a fun little game to see if you can find any carvings of the Buddha that haven't been etched out. As you may have already noticed, images of the Buddha have been vandalized at nearly all of Jayavarman VII's temples. At some point after his reign, the Hindu Shaivite sect regained control, with large-scale desecration happening at all Buddhist temples. But why? For most of its history, Mahayana Buddhism had been tolerated and even encouraged by Khmer monarchs. For centuries, it coexisted side by side with Hinduism without any issues. While nobody's certain, scholars believe that Jayavarman VII may have taken things a little too far with promoting the Buddhist divinities over the Hindu ones. At a number of his temples, Banteay Kdei included, carvings were made of the Hindu gods Brahma and Vishnu, worshipping the Buddha. Typically, Shiva had taken this central spot in similar carvings. Replacing Shiva with the Buddha then may have been considered sacrilege by the Brahmin priesthood. While the Hindu Jayavarman faith often gets blamed, evidence suggests that he was actually rather tolerant of Buddhism. The vandalism then probably occurred just before his reign, or sometime during it, but probably against his wishes. Just as carvings had been etched out, Buddha images were also beheaded. As was discovered by Sophia University researchers in the 1990s, parts of 274 different Buddha images were even buried near Banteay Kdei's entrance. The burials were likely carried out by monks and not the Vandals, as the fragments appear to have been carefully laid to rest. Thanks for watching our video. If you like it, please save and share it to your friends in the world. Have a wonderful time, all my beloved visitors. Kindly regards from me, Angkorian Tours.